In this video we are going to see the top 10 inventions of mankind. Welcome to our channel. This is World 101. Number 10. The wheel. Before the invention of the wheel in 3500 BC, humans were severely limited in how much stuff we could transport over land and how far. Apparently, the wheel itself wasn't the most difficult part of inventing the wheel. When it came time to connect a non-moving platform to that rolling cylinder, things got tricky, according to David Anthony, a professor of anthropology at Hartwick College. The stroke of brilliance was the wheel and axle concept, Anthony previously told Live Science. But then making it was also difficult. For instance, the holes at the center of the wheels and the ends of the fixed axles had to be nearly perfectly round and smooth, he said. The size of the axle was also a critical factor, as was its snugness inside the hole. The hard work paid off, big time. Wheeled carts facilitated agriculture and commerce by enabling the transportation of goods to and from markets, as well as easing the burdens of people traveling great distances. Now, wheels are vital to our way of life, found in everything from clocks to vehicles to turbines. Number 9. The nail. Without nails, civilization would surely crumble. This key invention dates back more than 2,000 years to the ancient Roman period and became possible only after humans developed the ability to cast and shape metal. Previously, wood structures had to be built by interlocking adjacent boards, geometrically a much more arduous construction process. Until the 1790s and early 1800s, hand-wrought nails were the norm, with a blacksmith heating a square iron rod and then hammering it on four sides to create a point, according to the University of Vermont. Nail-making machines came online between the 1790s and the early 1800s. Technology for crafting nails continued to advance. After Henry Bessemer developed a process to mass-produce steel from iron, the iron nails of yesteryear slowly waned, and by 1886, 10% of U.S. nails were created from soft steel wire, according to the University of Vermont. By 1913, 90% of nails produced in the U.S. were steel wire. Number 8. The compass. Ancient mariners navigated by the stars, but that method didn't work during the day or on cloudy nights, and so it was unsafe to voyage far from land. The Chinese invented the first compass sometime between the 9th and 11th century. It was made of lodestone, a naturally magnetized iron ore, the attractive properties of which they had been studying for centuries. Soon after, the technology passed to Europeans and Arabs through nautical contact. The compass enabled mariners to navigate safely far from land, increasing sea trade and contributing to the age of discovery. Number 7. The printing press. The German Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press around 1440. Key to its development was the hand mold, a new molding technique that enabled the rapid creation of large quantities of metal movable type. Though others before him, including inventors in China and Korea, had developed movable type made from metal, Gutenberg was the first to create a mechanized process that transferred the ink from the movable type to paper. With this movable type process, printing presses exponentially increased the speed with which book copies could be made, and thus they led to the rapid and widespread dissemination of knowledge for the first time in history. 20 million volumes had been printed in Western Europe by 1500. Among other things, the printing press permitted wider access to the Bible, which in turn led to alternative interpretations, including that of Martin Luther, whose 95 Theses, a document printed by the 100,000, sparked the Protestant Reformation. Number 6. The internal combustion engine. In these engines, the combustion of fuel releases a high-temperature gas, which, as it expands, applies a force to a piston, moving it. Thus, combustion engines convert chemical energy into mechanical work. Decades of engineering by many scientists went into designing the internal combustion engine, which took its, essentially, modern form in the latter half of the 19th century. The engine ushered in the industrial age, as well as enabling the invention of a huge variety of machines, including modern cars and aircraft. Number 5. The telephone. Bell's telephone was the first apparatus to transmit human speech via machine. Though several inventors did pioneering work on electronic voice transmission, many of whom later filed intellectual property lawsuits when telephone use exploded, Alexander Graham Bell was the first to be awarded a patent for the electric telephone in 1876. Number 4. The light bulb. When all you have is natural light, productivity is limited to daylight hours. Light bulbs changed the world by allowing us to be active at night. According to historians, 24 people were instrumental in inventing incandescent lamps throughout the 1800s. Thomas Edison is credited as the primary inventor because he created a completely functional lighting system, including a generator and wiring, as well as the carbon filament bulb like the one above, in 1879. Number 3. Penicillin. It's one of the most famous discovery stories in history. In 1928, the Scottish scientist Alexander Fleming noticed a bacteria-filled petri dish in his laboratory with its lid accidentally ajar. The sample had become contaminated with mold, and everywhere the mold was, the bacteria were dead. That antibiotic mold turned out to be the fungus Penicillium, and over the next 2 decades, chemists purified it and developed the drug penicillin, which fights a huge number of bacterial infections in humans without harming the humans themselves. Penicillin was being mass-produced and advertised by 1944. This poster attached to a curbside mailbox advised World War II servicemen to take the drug to rid themselves of venereal disease. About 1 in 10 people have an allergic reaction to the antibiotic, according to a study published in 2003 in the journal Clinical Reviews in Allergy and Immunology. Even so, most of those people go on to be able to tolerate the drug, researchers said. Number 2. The Internet. It really needs no introduction. The global system of interconnected computer networks known as the Internet is used by billions of people worldwide. Countless people helped develop it, but the person most often credited with its invention is the computer scientist Lawrence Roberts. In the 1960s, a team of computer scientists working for the U.S. Defense Department's ARPA, Advanced Research Projects Agency, built a communications network to connect the computers in the agency, called ARPANET. It used a method of data transmission called packet switching, which Roberts, a member of the team, developed based on prior work of other computer scientists. ARPANET was the predecessor of the Internet. Number 1. Fire. It can be argued that fire was discovered rather than invented. Certainly, early humans observed incidents of fire, but it wasn't until they figured out how to control it and produce it themselves that humans could really make use of everything this new tool had to offer. The earliest use of fire goes back as far as 2 million years ago, while a widespread way to utilize this technology has been dated to about 125,000 years ago. Fire gave us warmth, protection, and led to a host of other key inventions and skills like cooking. The ability to cook helped us get the nutrients to support our expanding brains, giving us an indisputable advantage over other primates.